We are back for new comic book day. So, guys, what is going on, everybody? Black Crown Comics here in collaboration with my brother Lefteros. Now, we're bringing you guys the new comic book day selections for March 27th, and we're going to kick it off with the open order books. And the first one on the list is Edge of Spider-Verse, issue number 2. Now, it's got a first appearance and first cover appearance of Spooky Man, written by Kara Andrews and Rich Duick. I gotta say, man, the character on this cover looks like he belongs in the Venomverse 100%. But what's interesting and I find neat is that it looks like it's straight out of a Tim Burton movie, man. So I look forward to reading this one. But guys, stick around because there's another cool cover we're going to talk about in just a bit. Up next, we've got the return of the dynamic duo Tony Fleece and Trish Forstner. That's right, they're bringing us Feral #1. Now, guys, Stray Dogs was a hit. It was a great time, man. Everybody enjoyed Stray Dogs, and that stuff actually popped once it dropped. Now, will Feral do the same? We shall see. I'll be honest with you, I don't think so, but regardless of the fact, this looks like it's going to be a fun read, and of course, I always enjoy Trish Forstner's art, so I look forward to seeing all the covers coming for this one. If you guys read the last issue of Incredible Hulk, well, you kind of anticipated something like this taking place because it's Incredible Hulk issue 10 that's dropping this week, and here we've got the main cover, but we get not one, but two first appearances. That's right, we got the first full appearance of Frozen Charlotte and Private Inspector Francis Bergeron. Now, I want to say that Nick Klein absolutely crushed it on this cover. It's a gorgeous looking book, but the story is just as awesome. So definitely think it's worthy of picking up. Newburn issue 16 drops this week, and it actually marks the series finale for Newburn. Now, here we're looking at the cover A, and it is the final issue of the series, as I said, by Chip Zdarsky and Jacob Phillips. Now, one thing I want to mention is that Chip Zdarsky, back when Newburn 1 came out, he was actually on a podcast stating that Newburn has been optioned. Now, I've not heard anything ever since. I don't know if you guys have. If you did, sound off below in the comments. But Newburn is coming to a close, so if you've been reading this one, I'm sure you're excited to see how this one ends. Star Wars High Republic Adventures Crash Landing #1. This is the cover A, and what's interesting about this cover A is it's the only cover available for the book. So, you've got two first appearances here. You got the first appearance of Bainu Angwa and Rue. Now, not only are they within this book, they're actually on this cover. So, I think it's a win-win on both ends. I think this is worthy of a pickup. One of my favorite reads coming out of Marvel right now is Ultimate Spider-Man, and this week we've got Ultimate Spider-Man issue #3. I swear to God, every time I finish reading an issue, I just cannot wait for the next one to drop. So thankfully, this week we're getting it, and of course, the book's got a first appearance and cover of Earth 6160's Bullseye. Now, I do want to say the design is neat, and I cannot wait to read this one. Alright guys, it's time we talk about the cover selections for the week. Now, what does that mean? We're talking those fire covers, beautiful covers dropping this week, and we're going to circle it back to Edge of Spider-Verse issue #2. Now, not only is the story written by Kara Andrews, but he put together this awesome looking variant where, like I said, the man has channeled his inner Tim Burton because that is the exact vibe I get from this cover. Now, given that it's written by him and you can also get a cover done by him, I think that's neat, so it's definitely one I want to keep within my personal collection. Hands down, the hottest cover dropping this week is Harley Quinn issue 38. It is the cover C done by Sozo Maika for the Women's History Month, and I gotta say, Sozo Maika has been on absolute fire, but this cover right here is probably one of my favorites that Sozo Maika has put out. It is absolutely gorgeous, and I am totally picking this up simply for the cover. Another awesome cover that's coming out from DC this week is Penguin issue #8, and this is the cover B done by Dustin Nguyen, which is absolutely awesome, along the same color schemes as we just saw with Harley Quinn. But, guys, we just recently got the Penguin trailer, and a lot of people, like myself, are pretty pumped for that series to drop, so I'm looking forward to it. But besides the point, Tom King's been crushing it on this book. The story's been great. I haven't heard anybody say anything negative about this one. I'm enjoying it. and I encourage everybody to pick it up as well. Guys, you know how I just said Souls of Micah's on fire? Well, that fire is continuing to burn because Power Girl issue 7 is coming out this week, and we've got a cover D done by Sozo Micah as well. That's right, not one but two awesome covers dropping by Sozo Micah this week, and it is for the Women's History Month as well. Now, of course, Women's History Month is coming to a close because we're already the end of March, right? Time's flying. But not one, but two amazing covers by Sozo Micah. Another one I'm picking up solely based on the cover alone. Where are my Todd McFarlane and Spawn fans at? Because, guys, we got Sam and Twitch Case Files #1 dropping this week. Now, this is the cover B done by Todd McFarlane, and the story is written by Todd McFarlane. If you guys have read Spawn, you know exactly who Sam and Twitch are, so I'm sure everybody's pumped. But if you're familiar with Spawn, you're familiar with that $2.99 price tag, which is also going to be the price tag for this one here. If you're a fan of Star Wars and you're a fan of Bad Batch, you might want to pick up Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi issue #6. Now here we've got the Hans variant, and one thing I want to mention is that we recently got a cover appearance of the Bad Batch within comics. Now, there was no Omega on that one. So here we have the first cover appearance of Omega from Bad Batch. If you're a Star Wars fan, I'm sure you're going to want to add this one to your collection. And I also think that Stephanie Hans did a great job on this cover. Not only is it one of my favorite reads coming out of Marvel, but it's also got some of my favorite covers because Ultimate Spider-Man 3 is dropping not one but two cool variant covers this week. You've got the Del Mundo variant to the left of you, and I gotta say, it's probably one of my favorite callback covers ever because, yes, it is an awesome homage to Amazing Spider-Man 50. You know, the whole Spidey no more? Well, I guess we're calling this Laundry no more. But I find this cover actually really captures everything that's happening within this book and where Peter Parker's at in his life at the moment. So I think, personally, probably one of my favorite homages to come out in quite some time. Now, to the right, we've got the Manhanini cover. Now, Manhanini's been doing special variants for each issue, and I gotta say, they've all been neat. I really like the connecting for issue 1 and 2, but here we also get not one but two villains on this cover who are making their first appearance on the cover. So you might want to pick these up. All right, boys and girls, it's time we talk about the later prints that are coming out this week, and we're going to kick it off with Batman 142. We've got ourselves the third print of Joker Year 1. Now, this is the part 1. One thing I'm going to say, though, is I'm not a big fan of these later prints where they just swap the colors. I think it comes off as a little lazy, but it is a neat cover regardless. I prefer the first print, but one thing that's worth mentioning is that this cover is actually sold out at distribution. So, for the third print, if you want to go back to reorder off of Previews World, well, you're kind of out of luck. So, you're going to have to find this one in the wild. And it doesn't stop there with Batman's later prints coming out because we've got Batman 143 and Batman 144 coming out with second prints for both these issues this week. Now, a few things I want to touch base on is that Batman 142, I just finished telling you guys, sold out at distribution. Issues 143 and 144 did not sell out at distribution. So, maybe you guys can come back to reorder these, but if you missed out on Joker Year 1, this is your opportunity to pick up 142, 143, 144, and give it a read. I thought it was a pretty decent read. Now, again, I'm not a fan of the color swaps, but given the color schemes for 142, 43, and 144, looks like you can pick yourself up a neat set here if you're a fan. You know how I keep saying if you missed out on the first one, you might want to pick up the later prints for the sake of read. Six Fingers issue #1 comes out with a second print this week, and I'm totally going to capitalize on that opportunity to pick it up because I totally missed out on One Hand. Now, what are you talking about, One Hand? Well, let me give you a little information here. This is a new miniseries in a shared universe with the One Hand series. Now, One Hand and Six Fingers crossover story-wise, so if you're reading one, you're going to want to read the other. So I'm picking this one up because I totally missed out on the first print. So in case you did as well, just wanted to share. And one that's going even way beyond later prints. We're going all the way to 7th print, baby. Void Rivals #1. That's right, man. The Energon Universe love is alive and well because we've gone to a 7th print here for Void Rivals #1. Now, one thing I want to mention as well for this here is that this actually sold out at the distributor 1 week prior to its release. So, if you see them out in the wild, you might want to pick it up. But guys, regardless of the fact, Void Rivals, the Energon universe has been absolutely incredible. I wouldn't be surprised if we see even an 8th print coming out very soon. And to wrap it all up, for the later prints, we've got a 3rd printing for Duke #1 that's coming out. And we've also got a 2nd printing coming out for Duke issue #2 by Jason Howard. Now, something that's worthy to note here is that you notice how Duke #2 on the 2nd print features Baroness. Now, usually these types of variants, these later prints that have come out, we've seen a logo behind the character. Example, if you saw Megatron, well, you saw the Decepticons logo behind. Baroness doesn't have anyone behind her. There's no Cobra, there's no G.I. Joe. So, is she a double agent? Well, I guess we're going to have to find out. All right, guys, let's bring it home with some of the incentive variants that are coming out this week. And we're going to circle back for the last time to Edge of Spider-Verse issue #2. That's right, we've got a 1 in 25 incentive that is coming out this week. And it's got the first cover appearance of Star Spider. Now, you're probably wondering, who the hell is Star Spider? Well, Star Spider is scheduled to come out in the next issue of Edge of Spider-Verse. That's right, Edge of Spider-Verse issue 3 is going to have the first appearance of Star Spider. But it's neat to see that she's making her first cover appearance on the 1 in 25 for issue #2. Another neat homage cover coming out this week is Feral #1, and it is a movie homage variant. And what is it homaging? Well, Night of the Living Dead. Now, this cover is done by Tony Fleeks and Trish Forstner, but there's something I want to talk about, guys. You know, there's a lot of artist and retailer exclusives available for this book. Now, what does that mean? Well, with a lot more copies being ordered for exclusives that are usually limited print runs, it tends to show a lot more incentive covers available out there on the secondary market. So, example, this 1 in 100, I imagine we'll see a few of them. But what's interesting to note is that even considering the fact this book is still holding already before New Comic Book Day at $80. So, not too bad for this 1 in 100 incentive. We'll see if it holds down the road. Wolverine 43 is actually coming out with a 2nd printing this week. Now, that 2nd printing has a 1 in 25 incentive attached to it. So, what am I telling you? Well, normally those cover A's for those later prints don't tend to do so well, especially on the secondary market. Like, I think most of those are safe to say they end up in dollar bins. But that's because everybody's eyes are on the prize, and that prize right here is the 1 in 25 incentive for Wolverine 43. Now, what's been pretty impressive to see is that on the secondary market and on eBay, I'm already seeing sales between $60 to $70. So, this has already started to hit a way above ratio price. So, if you hit up your LCS and see this available at, $25 or lower, it might be worthy of a pickup. And to wrap it all up, guys, one of my favorite incentives dropping this week is Miles Morales Spider-Man issue #18. This is the 1 in 50 Virgin incentive variant done by Grainov. Grainov absolutely crushed it on this cover, but a few things I want to talk about for this issue is that this particular cover is also available in a regular trade at cover price. Now, that cover price is a pretty heavy one. It's $8.99 US. Why is that? Well, it's actually a milestone issue. It marks the 300th issue of Miles Morales. So, that being said, pretty heavy price tag. Now, those $8.99 price tags tend to keep shops away from ordering so many copies because, well, it hurts the wallet, to be honest with you. So, how many of these will we see out there? Who knows? But what we do know is that eBay sales are already showing $80 to $100 on sales. So, again, if you have the opportunity to pick this one up at cover price, well, at the ratio price or lower, I think I'd be picking this one up. So there you have it, guys. Those were the new comic book day selections for March 27. Now, before heading on out, support Lefteros by following comicnation.us. That's right, go visit the website and order yourself some cool books. And when you do, once you get to that cart, make sure to use discount code BLACKCROWN to get yourself an additional 5% off. And also go visit coverprice.com where you can see an even more extended list of Lefteros' picks of the week. So show some love, Go visit both websites and, of course, comment down below. Let us know what books you guys are looking forward to picking up this week. Have yourselves a great week, guys, and of course, happy hunting.